Yo, morning. Hope you're good. Hope everyone is well. It's finally NFP. Not like it's something any of us were really anticipating unless you're some sort of gambler, but hope all is well on your side. Hope everybody is okay on your end. The family, the siblings, the cousins, the parents, the uncles and the aunties. Gambling sounds well. This guy. Nah. I'm not gonna be the one that'll be jumping in front of that train. Not me. Let's see. I wanna set up the other screen the way I do. Oh, actually I could use this other phone. I mean, could be fun, right? Yeah, could be fun, or it could be devastating. You could either come out a millionaire, or you could come out flat broke. So 50-50, you know. Let's see. Why do I not have the YouTube app on this phone? I don't know how that's possible. Waiting for an order block on the EURCAD. Yeah, actually we already got that. This was the quiz that I sent you guys on the group. I don't know if you answered it. ICC trader. I don't actually know what your name is, but yeah, I don't know if you answered the quiz that I sent to the group, but we typically get 4 things from at the 50% of the range. If you decided to grade the swing point of the market maker buy model or sell model, you'll take the high of the initial consolidation, or at least where you think the initial consolidation is, and I think it's right there because those are where the equal highs are with that side as well. So if that's the initial consolidation, I would then pull it to where I believe the smart money reversal is, which is at the low right there. So now that we've gotten this, we split it into 4 parts. I'm using a Fibonacci. Of course, you can use a Gantt box or whatever you want to use. So I split it into 4 parts, and I saw the 25% is typically where you would get the what does ICT call it? Because this entry here is the smart money reversal. Usually it's a reaction from a PDRA, and you can see right there's a tiny fair value gap right there on this 4-hour chart. There's a 4-hour fair value gap there. So that's where the smart money reversal is. That's where the turtle soup people jump in, and it's usually the hardest because you don't know where the stop loss is. The second hardest is the first phase of redistribution or reaccumulation, depending if you're buying or selling, right? And the first phase usually happens at the 25%, which is why I really wanted to see this 25% mark. But you can see we didn't touch it. But the reason I decided not to worry myself much about this fair value gap is because we do actually have a breaker here. If you notice, the last up close candle before we ran the sell side, before we ran this sell side liquidity, it's this one, and it's at the Sunday opening price as well. And you can see how how price closed above it on this candle here, and closed again at this candle here. So when this one came, this was a chance to just take this as an accumulation for smart money to start buying. And then if you miss that, of course, the second phase happens typically at the 50%, right? Or around the 50%. And we can see around the 50%, we touched it, but I like the fact that we closed above it, we displaced above it, showing me that this is a high probability market maker buy model. I don't think we would reverse anywhere now from here, which was the second thing I wanted to show you. I wanted to sort of let you guys know about the market maker buy model or sell model. If price fails to get to the 50% or gets close and rejects from the 50%, just know that there's a high chance the 50% is the market maker buy model or sell model wouldn't even hold at all. Because some people would ask, why did it fail? Why did it reverse from here and continue lower? Well, it's exactly because of that. I will find the footage where ICT actually talks about that, but he did teach that. He did mention when market maker models fail. So I will give you guys that information later. So anyway, I like the fact that we displaced above it and closed above it. So here we got the second phase of redistribution or reaccumulation, because it was coupled with this inversion fair value gap here. So we've disrespected a fair value gap and we created a bullish one here as well. So we got this now. This is a very good sign, because remember again, there are 4 possibilities when it comes to the 50% of the area of the market maker model. And let me see if I can copy that now actually. I wonder if TradingView would let me. There we go. Remember that these 4 possibilities. So if these are the only 4 possibilities we can find at the 50% mark, which one would you like to see right now? I don't think anybody would like to see a consolidation. Yes, we got somewhat of a consolidation here, but we immediately ran away from it, right, at the 50% mark. And a breakaway gap is possible. For example, we have this fair value gap sitting right here. There's a chance that price will never come back to this fair value gap and just runs higher from there. So this is a possible breakaway gap. Right now, it's still a possible breakaway gap, but we obviously wouldn't like that, because you would have been missing the entry again. The third possibility is a measuring gap. A measuring gap usually is the one with, it's sort of like a breakaway gap, but we do touch it, we just don't fill it completely. We use that to be able to measure the range, then using the standard deviations and projections, we're able to see where price may reach next. So it's not really for the, it's not the most ideal again for us. Yes, we do tap into it, which is a good sign, I guess, because we do tap into it. We actually get an entry or a possible entry there, but we don't want that. The only one that I like is this last one, a high probability order block forming. So if this can form, I would be happy. But then when looking at this 4-hour market maker buy model, it actually did form. Notice at the 50% we have this bearish candle right there, sitting right across the 50%. And how did this bearish candle form? We swept liquidity. I remember this was Asia session, these are small candles. We swept liquidity. Remember, we got the 15-minute shift in structure. Then I decided that I wouldn't take it because we got a huge reversal back down. So I didn't like this reversal anymore. I said, now let me just leave it and wait for this possible retest. But we didn't get that either. So yeah, so we swept liquidity to create this order block. That's already one thing that makes it a high probability order block. The second thing that makes it a high probability order block is that it's aligned with a fair value gap right there, the one that we said that could also be a breakaway. So we got an order block right there that's aligned with a fair value gap, creating a unicorn entry. So right now, if we are truly bullish in this market, I wouldn't even expect us to go below this order block, to be honest. So if it can give us an entry that looks something like this, with the stop loss being at the low, yesterday's low, and target being the equal highs up there, that would be great, because it's still a good risk reward from this entry. So now because of these possibilities, because of the consolidation, because of the possible chance of just creating a gap that will never be touched and just runs to the upside, a measuring gap that will partially be filled, and all these possibilities forming here at the 50%. This is exactly why ICT does not like trading the 25% or the 50% and rather likes the 75%. If you hear what he says that the last stage or the second stage, well, technically this is the second stage of redistribution to him. So he says the last stage of the market maker model is usually the most energetic stage. It's usually the ones that run quickest to clear the liquidity, right? So if we somehow miss this and somehow we are here during the New York session, I would like to believe that the Canadian dollar news coming out coupled with the NFP news coming there as well would be the one to run us to the buy side liquidity, the equal highs up there. So that's just something that I'm looking for. I don't know which other block you are waiting for, but if you're talking about the one at the 50%, it would be this one. And obviously at that point we would have swept some sort of liquidity. Even if we don't sweep liquidity at this point, at the time we'll be in this fair value gap, we would have been below the midnight price. So let's go down to the 15 minutes chart to see what it looks like. We can see on the 15 minutes we would have swept these below the midnight price, which is right there. And yeah, if you really want to wait for a confirmation setup, you could wait for a 15-minute confirmation, because this is a 4-hour PDRA. Similar to what we did yesterday, we waited for a 15-minute confirmation, but I did not think we're going to retrace this far down to midnight, chop around the whole day just to shoot at the last hours of the day. I didn't think this was going to happen. So yeah, but we could get something similar to yesterday. We sweep a low, Asia session low, tapping into this 4-hour PDRA, market structure shift could give us an entry to hold this. If you do take the 15-minute entry, you're going to have a higher risk reward, because say you got something like this, tap, shift over there, and maybe a breaker entry of some sort to that high. Your entry would have been now something like here, stop loss at the low, while your target is all the way up there. So it gives you what, a 12-to-1 risk reward. So if you do get a 15 minutes confirmation, if we tap in here, I'll definitely be all over this. Even if you don't go heavy on the lot sizes, your risk reward will make it worth it. So yeah, of course it could just take off from here, because it doesn't need to give us this. It could just give us one of these possibilities, as we already mentioned. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Let me set an alert for that level. It's a 4-hour chart, so we may have to wait for a little bit for that to unfold. That breakaway ends with 1-hour sell side liquidity, waiting for that sell side liquidity to take out. I guess you're talking about the same gap that I say could be a breakaway. I'm not saying that it is a breakaway, but I'm guessing it is, because the sell side liquidity I saw, yeah, it is. The sell side liquidity I was looking at was on the 15 minutes, and that's Asia session low, I believe. Well, it should be. It was formed at 5 p.m. I think. I just don't like too many things on my chart. Oh, that's not actually Asia session. There is Asia session low. It's actually this sell side liquidity that's Asia session. So yeah, if it does clear this and somehow tap into this, got our shift and likely an SMT divergence with GBP CAD, that would be fantastic and could take price higher. I would like to see a 15-minute shift, by the way, if you want to know. I'd like to see a shift on the 15 minutes for me to get in, but I might try one entry with blindly using the 4-hour fair value gap. Yes, I did blindly enter GBPUSD. Let's see if I can show that quickly. I did enter when we confirmed this breaker right there, which was why I really wanted to see this entry, because it aligns with the 25%. It's a fair value gap with a breaker there, so I wanted to see that. We could still get that, like let's say we consolidated the whole of London, NFP could literally run up quickly, tap into it, because you can see I have my sell limit set there, and this one was just my blind entry there. So yeah, we could get that, then continue lower to the initial consolidation, or we could just say, nah, screw you all, let me leave. So yeah, I'm looking at the same sort of formation here on NZD USD, because remember when I was saying there's smart money reversals, the guys that catch the tops? Well, in this case, it's technically this now. This is the smart money reversal, which is actually better because you get to define a place to put your stop loss. And then here is the low risk sell. Then the 50% is the first stage of redistribution, and the 75% is the second stage of redistribution. So yeah, that's what I was forgetting. Low risk, first phase, second phase. ICT likes to trade this second phase because it has already pierced through the 50%, showing you that it's likely to go for the lows down there. So yeah, this is something to also keep an eye out on. EU, the same thing. Let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, I know it's the exact same thing. I remember seeing the breaker last night when I was looking at GBPUSD. But I don't think I chose GU. I already gave my reason in the previous video that I uploaded, but I chose GU because I saw that when you look at Euro GBP, Euro GBP was running to the upside, so that told me that either Euro is stronger or GBP is weaker, one of the two. Therefore, I chose the weaker one, GBP. Right? I chose GBPUSD. That's why I'm on GBPUSD instead of Euro dollar. Because now when we look at Euro to the dollar, we can obviously see that it's, and also GBP has an easier draw on liquidity than Euro does, because if you remember, GBPUSD is the one that has the high time frame PDRA, the monthly draw on liquidity. This fair value gap. Remember when I was telling you yesterday, I was looking at this fair value gap, and I already see that we got a Judas swing, a manipulation. There's no need to continue higher, and I thought this was just a manipulation for the month to finally come to the draw on liquidity, external range liquidity to internal range liquidity. So yeah, obviously when you dial that down on the weekly time frame, I think you'll see there's also a fair value gap there. On a weekly time frame, we have it in an internal range liquidity back to external. Well, technically internal to internal, because internal for the monthly is here somewhere, clearing these lows. So yeah, I was expecting this to this. If you're looking at a weekly chart, what's your lower entry? We're using time frame alignment. What would be your lower time frame from a weekly chart? I don't know if you guys know. Let me wait to see if anybody knows. In terms of time frame alignment, if you are looking at a weekly PDRA, what would be your entry time frame? Oh, someone actually did respond. I actually forgot about that. But yeah, anyway, so we have the sell side liquidity down there. If you're looking at a weekly PDRA, your confirmation is on the 4 hour. So that's why I went to the 4 hour and I saw that we basically swept liquidity. We took all these highs here. We took this high, we took this high. Jeez. We took this. I don't know what's wrong with my internet again. I'll have to find a substitute now. But yeah. Hopefully it's still good. I can see a lot of frames are dropped. Yeah, 1 second. Let me try and fix this Wi-Fi first. Right, so it should be a little bit better now, but you guys let me know if there is a difference. Want to make sure that it's at least better. It's not the best because it's still dropping frames. I've switched ISPs and I'm still getting the same result. Which is unfortunate, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to continue for now. I was saying that if you're looking at a weekly PD array, you would like to see a 4-hour confirmation, and I think we are getting that now. We're getting shifts in structure from the 4-hour perspective, even though it's not. This is actually terrible internet right now. I think I should restart everything. But yeah, I'm going to restart everything and hope that it somehow fixes itself. But yeah, I waited for the shift and we got a swing low purged there, a closure below the swing low. I was waiting for this fair value gap to be tapped into, but you can see we didn't get that fair value gap, and that fair value gap is where the market maker model forms as well from the 1-hour chart. So yeah, that's why I'm bearish on GU. But one thing to note is that we might reject from the opening price on the dollar and continue lower. But if we trade above that and deeper into this daily fair value gap, then I think we're gonna keep running up. If we do tap the EQ level and continue showing signs of rejection, then we might actually go for the lows. Like this might be the high of the month, and we are likely going to start going for that low, the yearly fair value gap there. So yeah, but let me restart my devices and see if there'll be a difference, because I don't like what is happening right now. Yeah. Okay, I think it should be fine now, or at least better. I still don't know what the issue is, and I need to sort it out. But I think everything is fine now. Even if it's not 1080, at the very least, all I'm asking for is 720, so that my charts can be visible. Yeah. Okay. All good. All right. Okay, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I don't know if you guys heard when I was saying that we should keep an eye out on the opening price for the dollar index, because if we are really bearish, and if we have made the high of the month, we could tap into this EQ and continue lower, because this is a fair value gap here also by the EQ, so we could create the next swing high, the lower swing high somewhere here, and continue lower. Just something to keep in mind. But at the same time, if you're looking at the same breaker, we rejected back into the, I don't know how to put it. When I was looking at this breaker, I was looking for it to take out the 40 days high there. But you can also look at this fair value gap, because I coupled it with this fair value gap right that time, and you can see we're still closing up above the fair value gap. So in a way, we're in a trapped situation where NFP will be the one to tell us whether we are going to use this EQ line to fall off or break through it. If we break through it, especially get to the full closure of this fair value gap, then I think we're going for the highs again, the high of the month, one more time, before we can see the drop that we're looking for. Because I'm looking to be bearish on the dollar index this month, but just not now. I really want to see NFP create the high of the month. That's all I want. That's all I want to see. So you're asking me about the update on Aussie. EU moving. Okay, 1 second. You're asking me about the update on the Aussie, and I'll say the same thing. Grade the market maker model, 25%, similar to NZD. I'll be looking for an entry here, which is the same place you are looking for an entry, right? So inside of this, I'll be looking for a 5-minute shifting structure to take it down. That's what I'll be looking for on AUD and ZD, which is again similar to AUD USD, and then this is NZD dollar. I'll be waiting for a 5-minute shift inside of here, or you could just take it blindly with your stop loss there. So your setup would look something like this: entry there, stop loss at the swing high, and take profit at the low of the week. And that's a 5.5 risk reward. So I think that's good. I think that's decent. So yeah, you could take this as well. What I'm gonna do is delete that, and we're going to check NZD. I want to actually set that order on my chart right now. I want to set the pending order of that NZD trade idea on my chart quickly, then I'll get back to you guys. Position sizer, short, take profit, not instant, pending order. So put a stop loss there at the high, take profit at the low, and the entry at the fair value gap. You should also keep in mind that whatever was supporting price higher on the, should I say, the buy side of the curve, whatever was supporting price on the buy side of the curve should now support price lower. For example, this fair value gap here is supported higher prices. These bearish candles, they supported higher prices, so you should be looking for the other way around now. These two bearish candles should support lower prices now. So I don't even want to see NZD USD take out this high anymore. I set my order at that level. And I'm looking for a rejection from there. Let me set it on the other account as well, so I don't have to keep monitoring my MetaTrader. Short, take profit. I'll check the EU chart that you're talking about in a moment. Just need to set this up properly. Over there. That's a nice 1 to 5 risk reward if it can give it to us. All right, you said I should check EU, that it's moving. Well, yeah, EU is, as we just identified with using Euro GBP, that EU is stronger than GBP right now. So EU might actually come to this order block. If you are bearish, I'd be looking for sells from here. If you are bearish and standing with the bears, which I'm bearish, and I personally would like to see this sell side taken on GU and EU, actually on all the major crosses. At the same time, the dollar would then be crossing this EQ line. So I don't want the dollar to take out the high for these guys to take out the lows. I would like these guys to fall off drastically, that NFP could just tag out TP, and by that time it would be hitting EQ and possibly be looking for a turnaround. Who knows? It could also just keep going higher, but I'm supporting higher. But you know, you wouldn't like to be in the market when some injection of volatility might be the case. So yeah, that's EU, looking for higher prices there. But as I said, GU is really weak, that it feels like it won't even give much of an entry. It might give an institutional order flow entry draw into this fair value gap. It might not even reach the order block. You can see my alert was set and moved to the order block. The reason is, I don't think we're gonna get back to this breaker anymore. Reason being that we got this tiny fair value gap, even though it was during Asia. But we got this tiny fair value gap, and I don't think it's coincidence that we bounced off of the 25% during Asia. So yeah, I really don't think I want this fair value gap to remain open, is what I'm trying to say on GU. If we really are that weak and if we are that bearish, I want this to stay open. And now if this is the case, then we should be looking at this fair value gap. But now notice that we actually did tap into this fair value gap right there. And if we enable the midnight price, you'd be able to see that we did it after opening at midnight. So we opened at midnight, touched it, but I don't think this is enough. I wouldn't say this is enough. I would like to see us trade higher into this bearish fair value gap. And it's above the Sunday opening price as well, which is this blue line. But I think if you really want to trade this, I would wait for a 5 minutes confirmation to take it back down. I wouldn't blindly take it, blindly sell it. But that's just my opinion, of course. Nothing you should take too serious. AUD USD looking for buys. No, I'm not looking for buys. Anything with the dollar, I'm looking for sells. We have the same or similar setup with GU here. Looking for sells to the sell side liquidity. Relative equal lows. I think they were not perfect when I checked it last time. Okay, this low is at 1.25397, 1.25396. So yeah, 1 pip difference between these two lows. This one is actually lower than this one by 1 pip, 1 point even. But yeah, I consider them to be relative equal lows, and that's why I was aiming for them. So yeah, I am not bullish on AUD USD. I'm not bullish on euro dollar. I am not bullish on NZD dollar and dollar cross. I'm bearish. I have to apologize now because my internet might keep cutting off. My internet may keep cutting off from time to time. So I don't know what's up with that. I've tried to reach out to the ISPs, both of them, because I do have a backup. I don't use just one internet service provider, so I contacted both of them to see what's going on, because when I jump to the other one, it's still giving me more or less the same problem. So I'll ask you guys forgive me, and yeah, as I sort that out. I would have cut the stream off here, but I did want to stay live the whole day and live stream NFP as well. But who knows what's gonna happen. Who knows what's going to happen. EU, I'll be selling from there. I'm not going to, but I would be if I was in the trade, or if I was looking to trade it.